Hello, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 30 of the Everything NYJ podcast. Liam and Gino here as always. We have a very special guest with us today from the New York Jets Situation Report podcast. We have Gunny Gumby. Gunny, how you doing, my friend?
How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm very excited to be here. I appreciate you guys inviting me to get on the show.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Gino, how you doing today?
It's been a long day, audio issues. So, but everything else is good.
Yeah, just bear with us, guys. We're still in the early stages of this podcast, trying to work everything out. So before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to mention that you could follow us on all social media platforms, on Facebook under Gino Antonio Pagano, on Twitter at Everything NYJ, at Instagram _ Everything NYJ. And Gumby, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at New York Jets _ sit rep on Twitter, on Instagram, and at New York Jets Situation Report on YouTube.
Nice. So we have a lot to get into today. Gino's going to ask you a couple questions, and we're just going to talk some football. The whole reason why this podcast was created, just want to talk to the fans, man.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. So what's it like being a Jets fan in Houston?
I'm not lying to you, man. Houston is great, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a very, very diverse city.
Nice.
There's individuals here ranging from Jets fans. We actually have like our own bar where we can actually spend Sunday games on to go ahead and watch games.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. You would think that being so far from New Jersey to New York area, like if we start to slim down in terms of the fan base, but there's a huge following out here for the New York Jets in the Houston area.
Nice.
Yeah, I know a club out there. They go to a bar every Sunday, and it's really cool. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, we got our own Instagram group, Facebook group, the Houston Texans Jets fans.
Right. Yeah.
We try to get on there and kind of correlate and coordinate in terms of specific events. So now we've got a pretty good a support structure out here for us Jets fans.
Awesome, brother. So how did you become a Jets fan?
It's a funny story, man. So I was born in Haiti, right? But I was raised in New Jersey, and
Gotcha.
One of my best friends when I was growing up, Marcus, him and his family were Giants fans. So I went to I went
Not
to
as bad as Patriot
watch.
fans.
No, not as bad as Patriots fans. So it was tolerable, right? So I was really big into basketball. I shifted from being a soccer lover, being from Haiti, to basketball. Went from Sixers to, of course, now a Knicks fan. And I went to watch a game at their house. It was the Jets versus the Buffalo Bills game. And
Yeah.
I remember Marcus's dad sitting there talking about that it was the competition of the wannabe New York teams, right? So they were pretty much just sitting there talking trash about the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills not being real New York teams, that it was reserved for the New York Giants. And I remember the first play of the game, Vinny Testaverde threw an interception, right? And came in pretty hot, like he was undefeated as a starting quarterback that year. Was in 1998. I was 13 or 14 years old. And the moment he threw the interception, everybody in the house blew up, got really, really excited. And I don't know, it kind of sat wrong with me, right? I got kind of agitated because I was just like, it's the first play of the game. I'm watching football really for the first time in an environment with other individuals who know the game. And I don't know, I got a passion for the underdog story. So I pretty much said, you know what, I think the Jets are going to go ahead and make a comeback right there and then. And everybody laughed at me for stating that. So I stuck to my guns. And I'm not sure if y'all know that game, but the Jets pretty much went a bit on a rally, and they wound up winning that game. They also won the division that year too. But
Awesome.
I've been a loyal Jets fan since, because that particular day, I was the only person that believed they could make it happen. They proved me right, and I never looked back. So I've been a Jets fan ever since, through thick and thin. A lot of it's been thin lately, as we all know. But,
thin.
I think that's about to change, though, for us, though. I think that's about to change, though, with the dynamic we currently have at One Jets Drive.
Awesome. I agree. 100%.
100%.
Super exciting stuff, man. Been a lot of thin lately, but like you said, I think it's going to change, man. I think better days are coming ahead.
Yes.
I really do.
Agreed 100%.
Did you guys see what Go ahead, Gino.
I just think overall, with everything going in a certain direction, because we've been such a losing organization for a long time, and I think it's tough. It's tough to be a Jets fan. Overall, but I think what Joe Diaz done lately, he's won 3 Super Bowls already. With being a GM or assistant GM, and it's just turning. You can just see it turning.
Yep.
I think
turning
also
of the tide is happening.
Yes, and the players are all buying into it. CJ Mosley was saying that it's playoff or bust this year. Braxton Berrios was saying that Braxton Berrios was saying that getting cut by the Patriots is the best thing that ever happened to him, and I love that. Just they cut him, and he's coming right to us, and he's becoming a star with us, man. I love it absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the Jets tax. It really is, man. Like it kind of gets me like going. Like I'm like excited, Yeah,
I get pumped. I get really pumped.
I do too. Yep. It's I think like the jet tax is like slowly but surely starting to go away. Players want to be here. We're not overpaying to have a player that's past his prime come here, just to sell some jerseys. We got some young bucks. We got some really talented players that want to be here. They just want to put their nose down and go to work, and they have a chip on their shoulder. And I was saying before, I've said a long time ago that I kind of feel like the rivalry like with the Patriots and like the Bills and the Dolphins, like it's not really there anymore. Like obviously they're division rivals, but like there's no like Rex Ryan saying that we're not here to kiss rings, and like there's none of that anymore. And I think because the Jets have been getting blown out by these teams for so long, there's the ring.
We've had to be very quiet over the last several years. We've had to be very quiet.
And I think the time now is it's starting to come where what, we're gonna come punch you in your face, and what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, amen. I mean, all the way. It's just been. I feel like. I feel like now I've been seeing like more people doing podcasts too, like you, Jesse, and people are starting to come out because they're excited. They're just excited to do it now. I mean,
everybody wants to talk Jets.
Yeah, it's fun now. Like it's fun now, and that actually brings me back to my next question, Jesse. Why did you want to start a podcast for yourself?
It's kind of funny. Right, so I've been wanting to go ahead and get into the content creation game for quite some time. When I was in the Marine Corps as a recruiter in the Houston area, I wanted to go ahead and get my team in the content creation game because it was a way to communicate with a lot of the community and individuals that were targeting to go ahead and become Marines. And I don't know, every time I would get in front of a camera and film something and I didn't like it, I always was like, I'm not posting that.
Yep.
So I get out of the Marine Corps and I get into the real estate game as an investor and an agent. Same thing. I'm feeling pretty good about some of the stuff that I know about. I want to share that with individuals. I'm anxious to get in the content creation game, but I would record something and it just didn't feel right. And I was just like, I'm not going to post that. So then I've been watching a lot of, Jake Asman, Matt O'Leary, Jet Central, Green Beans, one of my favorite guys. I like to watch them too. Like some of these big guys who've been doing this for a while, right? These are like the creme of the crop, right? And then Paul Green recently is somebody too, Boy Green. I've been watching his content. And I remember sitting here watching some of their content and realized, man, I consume so much Jets content and there's so much I want to say and share with like fellow Jets fans. And it wasn't it was easy to get in front of a camera and talk Jets football, and I was passionate about it. My personality came out, and it just seemed authentic. And I think it wasn't restricted to the fact that, the real estate game and the Marine Corps aspect were all professional entities that I had to kind of like be more timid about when I was expressing some of how I want to express myself. I don't got to do that when it comes to New York Jets. I can express my excitement, my frustrations, or whatever the case might be. So I just got in front of the camera and said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and record something. I'm going to post it. And here I am 2 months later, 9 videos in. I'm excited to keep putting more content out there, and I have some great ideas about some stuff during the season too. So I'm really excited about being able to get in front of the camera and just interacting with fellow Jets fans.
Absolutely. That was a great answer, man. Absolutely. It's so relatable too.
Love that.
Going through my tablet, there's so many videos that just will never make it to YouTube, that don't deserve to make it to YouTube in my eyes.
Amen. Amen. So bad.
I used to record it like off of my phone, and then I'd get like halfway through the video, I get like a phone call. I'm like, fuck, like I'm pissed.
Yes.
I know the struggles.
you're recording and the notifications keep interrupting and you can hear it
Yup.
pinging in the audio. Oh my god, it's definitely made me take this a little more seriously and get actual rigs for the whole process.
Exactly. I agree, man. And also, I just want to
Amen
thank
to
you for your
that.
service, man.
Yeah,
Really
I was going to
appreciate
say
it, man. I
too.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you for your service. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate the appreciation. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. My family, a lot of them are in the Marine Corps, and a
Same
lot of my
here.
friends were too. I have just a whole new level of respect on what they got to do
I'll tell
on a
you
daily
guys right
basis.
now, in the Marine Corps, there's a lot of us New York Jets fans. Like, it's insane how many of us are New York Jets fans in the Marine Corps. Some of my best friends I met that I currently still interact with in the Marine Corps were all Jets fans. Like, we were able to experience some things together. One of my best friends, Raymond, actually moved out here to Houston too, not too long after we did. Huge Jets fan as well. Like, you'd be shocked like how much support the New York Jets have at least in the United States Marine Corps. I don't know about the other branches, but in the Marine Corps, we have a pretty strong group of fans.
Well, shout out to all of them, man. Shout out to all of them, man. Shout out to them.
No doubt.
The Jets have one of the biggest fan bases.
And we deserve it.
Of any team.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
Absolutely.
But here's my next question. What do you think, on your personal opinion, about the signings of what the Jets have done in the offseason and also the rookies? Like, what do you like about the rookies, and also what do you like about our new signings?
Okay, it's funny. I just actually finished my video, my late NFL draft grades for the New York Jets. Just hit, I think, yesterday or this morning. And I've been going back.
Go check it out. Everybody go check that video out.
Check it out. I put some work into it. Let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm going to take all the critiques to see how I can get better at this. I love it, man. Like, in all actuality, I don't think we made any kind of big splash signing, but I love the direction that the Jets went. Joe decided to focus primarily on aspects that were legitimate weaknesses and concerns this past year. We fortified the tight end room when we brought in CJ and we brought in Conklin. When we got CJ, I was excited, right? I didn't think like we were going to go ahead and get both top tight ends currently in free agency in the same room, and I was pumped about CJ. And then we got Conklin, and I was like, wow, okay, so we're putting tools that Zach's going to need to go ahead and pretty much benefit. We know how much this offense kind of keens on having tight ends in play. Yep. So it was exciting to me to see them take it so seriously that they went after both those guys. I love the Conklin signing. I think Conklin is going to be our tight end one. A lot of people will say it's CJ because of his leadership and his experience and whatnot. I think CJ brings a lot to the table as well. But in terms of just pure and raw talent and how this scheme will pretty much like maximize those talents, I think Conklin is going to blow up in this scheme. And Zach is going to love him as his safety blanket, and it's going to go a long way. So Conklin was a big favorite signing of mine during the offseason. Yep. But one that we're not talking about a lot, man, is Josh Martin.
Amen. Total beast.
Edge rusher beast. I'm in Houston. I've seen this kid play out here in Houston, and I don't know what the Texans were thinking letting him walk away because
100% agree.
Best players last year, and he's a Jet now. And if you ever watch his film, I loved watching his film. Man, this kid has an arm chop move that seemed to work nonstop last year when he was trying to get to the quarterback. Lots of pressure. I think he's going to be a surprise factor when it comes to our defensive line. We already got a stacked defensive line.
Absolutely.
But I think adding him was huge, a very huge benefit. And I think on the back end, DJ Reed and Whitehead, love it. Absolutely love it. And one of the reasons why I also didn't think that we really need to go the defensive back route in the draft, even though I loved Sauce Gardner, was because we brought in DJ Reed. And DJ Reed and Bryce Hall did. Asking Bryce Hall to do what we asked him to do last year, the kid did pretty darn well. Like, I'm a big fan.
Without a supporting cast, too.
Without it, by himself. Yep. The kid did pretty darn well. And so for me, I thought adding DJ Reed, dropping Bryce Hall to the number 2 defensive back, like I was okay, perfect. He did a decent job guarding number 1s last year. Now he can guard number 2s and whatnot, which matches more along his skill set. So I was really big on the DJ Reed signing and the Whitehead signing in the backfield. I feel that those are going to be impact additions to the roster when it came to the free agency period. now we're getting to the draft. And again, I did my grades earlier, and I'll tell you right now. So after watching more of Sauce Gardner's tape, and I knew there was no way Aiden Hutchinson was going to drop to us to pick number 4. Yeah. It came down to Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson was arguably, I think, the best edge rusher in this draft class. Maybe I'm biased because he's a Jet now, but when you watch his tape, the kid shows you all the abilities of having strength, agility, speed, great head on his shoulders. And I don't think we're putting enough effort into the kind of character he brings to the table. When you look at his story,
no trauma either.
None. And this kid had to go the hard route to get to the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, switching colleges. Yep.
Yeah,
Thibodeau was all about his brand. Yep.
Exactly. And
I like Thibodeau. Yes. Yes.
But I loved Jermaine Johnson. For me, it was Aiden Hutchinson, then it was JJ. Then I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually like Karlaftis a little bit more than I liked Thibodeau, only because, again, team player mentality.
Agreed. 100% agree.
Team aspect. Yep. And Thibodeau was my 4th guy. But I knew there was no way we were going to get Sauce Gardner at pick 10. So I actually switched dynamics, wanted Sauce at 4. We got Sauce at 4. I wanted JJ at 10. And we got Garrett Wilson at 10. And I wasn't keen
That's who
on
I
Garrett
wanted.
Wilson pick. Really?
Yep.
I'm not mad about it.
100%.
I'm not mad about it. But I will say this. For me, I believe Elijah Moore is our wide receiver 1. And I think Elijah Moore is going to be the guy that we'll be talking about him as the wide receiver 1 for the next 5-10 years. Now, Garrett Wilson is going to be a great compliment, I think, to Elijah. Okay. And I say that only because I love Garrett Wilson's yard after the catch ability. He makes some very athletic catches. The kid's got range for days. And I understand they drafting him at 10 because we are trying to make sure that Zach Wilson has everything he needs to succeed. And if Zach Wilson succeeds, then there's none. There's none. Yep. So once you start looking into consideration as to weighing the why the Jets went that route, I understood. But I was heartbroken thinking that we had just lost out on JJ.
I understand that.
I was
amen to that. Amen to that.
I really thought we had to start looking into the second tier of edge rushers to add to this team. And as we all know, this team, the defensive line, the edge rusher position is so intricate to maximizing what this defense can do. So I was a little bit heartbroken, but I started thinking about Carl Lawson coming back. We added John Martin. We had some pieces, and I said, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. We didn't see Carl Lawson last year, so maybe they're thinking we're good on the edge rusher position because we have him coming through. So I had already accepted the fact that we're going to go into the second round and possibly get one of the a second tier edge rushers. But
who knows who knows what Carl Lawson's going to be after? He has had multiple leg injuries now. It's a little concerning.
Yes.
I mean, if anybody can bounce back, it will be him because the guy is just a workhorse. If you guys ever see his social media, he's just constantly working out,
constantly grinding.
Him and his wife just constantly work out. I mean, his wife's an Olympian, so
the Olympics.
So I mean, it's perfect. Perfect combo.
He's still a human though. I mean, he still has knees. His knees are getting. I just hope they don't give out. I love Carl Lawson, the player. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he comes back even 80% of what he was. It's a fair concern though. It's a very fair concern.
And that's why I really felt like we had to get one of the top tier edge rushers. I really believe that was a priority for us this offseason. And although I love the Sauce Gardner pick, I like the Garrett Wilson pick. I was really upset when I realized we weren't going to get one of those guys. But of course, Joe did his thing, right? Came back into the first round, pick 26. JJ was still there. How the heck did that happen? Nobody knows. Nobody can explain it.
The football gods.
So I was sitting here, and me and Raymond were having a conversation watching the draft, right? And I said, "Yo, this is kismet. There's no freaking way JJ would have fallen in any other draft in this situation, except for, it's our time. The Jets have been putting in the work. We've been suffering enough, and the football gods
100%. Yep.
We
paid our dues.
You guys, we paid our dues. We've earned getting JJ in the late first round. It was my favorite pick of the draft. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can tell y'all my grades for that now, but to watch the video, it actually goes into more detail. But I love the
absolutely
JJ pick. Jermaine Johnson, man, I think fortified the entire draft for me. For me, the entire draft was fortified by adding JJ. And that first round was just, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. And
No,
all of the,
A+.
every move made went to benefit Zach Wilson. Because if the defense is getting the ball back to Zach, that's more reps he's getting, seeing different defensive sets to go ahead and get better faster. Like Garrett Wilson, he's a playmaker, yards after the catch guy. He runs a 4.39 40. He can go ahead and take the top off of a defense. So I the first round, if you had told me the Jets had traded away all the other picks, I'd have been like, yeah, we still won. It was still a win for us.
Absolutely. And especially with how bad our defense was last year, you think back to the Eagles game, Wilson was getting cold. He was like on the sidelines for like a good 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Taking naps. Just taking naps because he had time.
Yep. If it was Sanchez, he'd be eating hot dogs.
Don't get me started with the butt fumble.
Yeah. No, but it's so important though, because a quarterback needs his rhythms. Like you got to stay active. We have to force some 3-and-outs. Have to.
Got to, especially in this type of an offense. It's fast-paced offense. You need to get the individuals out there getting those reps in so we can go ahead and follow through with the game plan.
And we have playmakers. We have Quentin Williams. We have JFM. We have Carl Lawson coming back. We need a couple more, just like some small pieces. That's it, man. Small pieces that are going to make huge impacts.
Linebacker, offensive line. That's what I want. Linebacker, offensive line.
And while we're on the DN's subject, one of my personal favorites of the draft, Clements. I love Michael Clements. I just think, with all respect to him, he's a freak, and I love it. I love how creepy he is. When he got drafted, he's like sitting in like his bedroom alone. I love it, man. I just think it's great. The guy's gonna kill somebody.
Is he a vampire or something? It's like a vampire or something.
No, that's Bane. That we're calling him Bane out here in Houston. Like that is Bane. We've got Bane on the
I love him,
Jets, bro. Like
that dude. He doesn't care.
No, and he's so articulate. Like, have y'all watched his press conference? When he literally, you would ask him a question, and he did not jump to go ahead and respond. He was just, all right, well, this is what I think about that. I just love his composure, man. Like, he wasn't rushed, wasn't bothered. He's a violent human being. Like,
the awkward pauses.
He got talking about, it made you feel uncomfortable asking a question. I'm like, I like that. I like that he doesn't give a crap. He's going to go.
Yep. Salah even said, he goes into a very dark place when he plays football. I love it, man. It's been so long since we've had a player like that. Just there's a switch, obviously, but even his off switch when he's off the field, he's still creepy. He's still a lot more just sick and dark than most human beings. I love it. I absolutely love it.
He should be the first guy off the bus every time we're at an away game. He needs to be the guy
in the last one on.
In the last one on. You want to make sure you set that tone going in and coming out of that freaking
when he's going off the bus, I want him to turn and just look back and just stare at Tom Brady, or just stare at like Josh Allen or somebody.
With the awkward pause too, just staring him down.
We need it all, especially with Sauce Gardner, man. I love Sauce, especially what we got Sauce there, and then Clements, and then Mitchell, like all
Sauce
of our
is Gino's
draft picks.
boy.
Yeah, that's my boy. I've been following him whole career and in college, and always been my favorite. So all the draft picks for sure hit the money on it for sure.
$50K for number one. He is. I love it because he's a superstar.
It's that Revis mentality, man.
That's it.
But
Sorry, my bad.
No, dude. It's something to be excited about. It's like that Revis thing all over again. Yeah, I mean, we need really a Revis, a Cromartie type guy. That's what Reed and Gardner and Bryce Hall bring to the table. That's what we need.
To the table, man. That elite secondary. Oh my God,
it gives me chills, man. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
I get so pumped.
I'm done crying.
I can't wait.
I don't have any more tears.
No reason to cry anymore. No, just happiness. Just happy tears.
I haven't had tears since 2-14.
Yeah. I think we all were crying when it came to that one, man. Like,
yes, and then it was tears of joy once we fired Adam Gase.
God, that guy never belonged.
No.
I actually get mad talking about Adam Gase. I'm sorry. I just get pissed off talking about him.
Yeah, everyone does. And so my next question for you, buddy, is Zach Wilson. What does he need to do this year to take that next step? Just like everyone else is saying with Salah, and just like what does he need to do? He's got all the pieces. Is this that year?
So I'm glad you asked me that question, right? Because again, I'm actually doing another video right now pending the two opponents that the Jets have to beat this year to go ahead and make the playoffs. And I'll say this. Zach Wilson showed us in the Tennessee Titans game last year and in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game last year everything we need to see in a franchise QB. He could play outside of the system. He can play within the system. At one point, he was playing freaking backyard football and just making it look fun and easy. He brings us a level of excitement as Jets fans to know that anytime he touches the ball, a big play could happen. It's very possible a big play's coming in. We haven't had that in a very long time. And so
Absolutely.
I think that as Jets fans, man, we're suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder from all the previous quarterbacks, our Sam Darnolds, our Mark Sanchez's, right? And we try to protect Zach, like, oh man, he doesn't need to do too much this year. I just need a baby step. I just need him to go ahead and do, 5% better than last year, or 10% better than last year. I'm sorry, man, but F that. I think Joe has done more than enough to surround him with so much talent, with that kid's arm ability and arm talent. And this whole offseason, he's been putting in the work. If Zach Wilson doesn't throw for 4,000 yards this season and 30 touchdowns, I'm going to be upset. And I say that because that's like 235 yards a game. Everybody keeps saying like 4,000 yards. You're insane. It's 235 yards a game. We just gave him all these weapons that are perfect for yards after the catch. I'm not asking him to. Those don't have to be all air yards. They don't have to be air yards. Like dump it
Total
off.
yards.
Dump it off the Brees Hall. Like you've got weapons for days now that can get you those yards. I think 4,000 yards is not asking a lot of Zach Wilson.
No. It's asking him to be a franchise quarterback.
Agreed.
Be a franchise quarterback.
And
everyone's throwing 4,000 yards nowadays.
I think also one of his best games was the Jaguar game, and we also learned that he could run.
I did love that one. He can run.
That was a good game.
Got some wiggle to him.
Yep, you need that.
Zach does not need to be perfect for us to make the playoffs, but I think Zach does need to show us, like, yeah, I am your guy. You guys gave me the tools. Let me go ahead and put these tools to work. So I'm expecting 4,000 yards from Zach. I'm expecting 30 touchdowns from Zach.
Now, if it was anything like less than that, but they win, 9-10 games, is that still a failure on Zach Wilson or?
It's not, because if that's happening, that means the defense is doing really, really well, and our running game is crushing it, right? Like, if I'm not opposed to a ground and pound style of football either. Like, those are some of the best Jets fans that we had.
Yep. Sean Green, LT, Thomas Jones, Curtis Martin.
Sean Green, one of my favorite players. Yes. So like,
me too.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Amen.
But I think we do need to see him at least show competency. If he's not crushing numbers, just show us you're competent enough, even as a high-end game manager, to where the defense and the running game can handle these games, and we're still winning. We'll be happy as Jets fans. It'd be great to go ahead and see him freaking throwing 60, 70-yard bombs down the field and making touchdowns. More of those Tennessee Titans type of throws where he's telling Corey Davis to just go. I got you. Like,
just go. I got you. Yep.
But I also would prefer the wins. The wins definitely go a lot further with us as Jets fans. So if he's winning, I mean, we still love Mark Sanchez for the AFC Championship games he gave us.
Yeah, and then the complete dumpster fires years after that.
You know what I'm saying? And we still give him props. Like, hey, you know what?
Some of us still like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Amen. Dude, yeah, exactly.
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was
I
fun
do
to watch
too.
Football with him.
Eric Decker.
I do too,
Marshall.
but then he kind of bashed the Jets this year too. He said like playing for the Jets. He definitely went down because he was like one of my favorite quarterbacks. I love just like the head first. He's doing the he's like doing the press conference, his head's bleeding and everything. I love the toughness in him. I think getting back to Zach Wilson a little bit though. I think one of Zach Wilson's biggest critiques is he's got to cut back on the interceptions this year. You have to.
He does. But let's take it this way. Like toward the back end of the season, we saw him do that, right? So we saw him. The game slowed down for him a little bit. Even when we were asking him to play with non-starters, he was still able to protect the ball, put it in places where it was easy for these guys who, let's be honest, probably should be starting in the NFL, but he still made it work. So I feel that Zach Wilson was the one that, he got it. The game got simplified for him a little bit. Everything slowed down a little bit. I think we'll be seeing more of that moving forward than the first half of the season where he was erratic, trying to do more than he had to outside of the offense. And I think that him always searching for his number one receiver and Corey Davis early on led to a lot of interceptions. Also why Corey Davis dropped a lot of balls because they were kind of forced in there. But I think we'll see a lot more of the Zach Wilson that we saw towards the back end of the season than the first half.
I think, like you said, like with the drops, I think that kind of deflated his numbers a little bit too.
It did. It
And
did a lot.
if you guys saw Flight 2022, then Zach Wilson went over all of that. And he's saying, there was a specific play during the Bronco game that was an interception, and then they ran it later in the season against the Texans, and it worked. And it just shows that it's not just coaching speak. He's really understanding the offense. He's going out there. You could call a play. He knows what it is. It's clicking with him, and that's very encouraging. He's getting that continuity. He's getting all of his coaches back. He's getting nothing but upgraded talent.
Continuity, that is so key. So we're the only team in the AFC East that can literally say like everything from all of our coordinators and up are coming back. Continuity is big in this game, and no other team has it. Everybody else lost either a coordinator or they lost the head coach.
Yep. I think that's going to hurt Buffalo a little.
I think so too.
I think that's going to hurt Buffalo.
It will. Yep.
I really like Brian Dable too. Before Salah, I kind of wanted him as the Jets. I wouldn't have minded him. I like Brian Dable a lot.
I was a big fan. Actually, I think I had Brian Dable above Salah. I'm not gonna lie. Like when he was available, but I'm not mad about Salah. I love Robert Salah. I'm glad we got Salah. So I'm not mad about it at all.
Yep. Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I love where we're going in the future and down the line, especially with Salah and then our offensive coordinator. I mean, just everything. The only thing that I'm concerned with, and I was going to ask you this question, is I'm just concerned about Corey Davis and the people that are coming back from injuries. I love what Zach Wilson did. His United States tour and everything. Great. It's what I've never seen that from a quarterback in a long time. That would go out of his way in the summer, in off season, just spend it with the guys to get to know people. Like I've never seen that before. That really impressed me because I wanted Justin Fields. So, but now seeing Zach, I know. Hold on.
Gino,
hold on, Lee. I'm sorry. Hey,
damn it, Gino.
I mean, I could have gone the route of like I wanted Alabama Jones. I love Alabama. So like,
Mac Jones. Yeah.
Right.
No,
yeah, but
Mac Jones.
But I mean, I was just concerned about the BYU thing. And because
that's fair.
Because that was the only thing I was concerned with. But now seeing everything happening, it's like it's starting to turn me a little bit more because you just see what his friendship with Barrios. It's like
best friends.
I mean, it's great. And then overall, like I said, the injuries coming back with Joyner and Carl Lawson and Corey Davis. What are your thoughts about the people and their expectations coming back from injury?
I'll tell you right now, man. I think that we as Jets fans, we need to realize we didn't see the full quality product that the Jets had in place last year.
Yep.
In terms of when they came out of the free agency period off season, in our minds, we had a different picture of how things were going to be, and injuries crushed that for us.
Yes.
So not only did we go ahead and
youngest team in the NFL.
Youngest team in the NFL. Those guys got experience, they got valuable reps, and they got better because of it. And now we're talking about bringing new talent, legitimate playmakers across the board where not just the Jets fans hyping up what we've done in the offseason and in the draft. Everybody's giving us props. Like everyone's like, wow, the Jets won the draft or they won the offseason. They've done this, that, and the other. Like,
we got tight ends.
We're not accustomed to this. We got tight ends. We got running backs.
We got Jeremy Rucker too.
Jeremy Rucker should have. That was one heck of a luxury pick, and
I'm
so happy he's a Jet.
Hometown boy.
I've liked him for a long. I played football against him in high school. I've always liked him. Yeah, I've known. Well, I mean, like I don't like he doesn't know me. Like I don't know him personally, but I've known of him for a very long time.
Teams play. Yeah, I got you.
I've known of him for years now, and I'm so happy he's like. I mean, obviously I didn't like playing against him, but I'm so happy he's a Jet. No. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there.
It's always more fun to have them playing with you, vice against you, especially when they're that quality of a freaking athlete / player.
Yep. He trucked the hell out of one of my boys one time. The kid got hurt.
He's a big dude, though, man. He's
very big. Yes, he is.
What are they feeding him?
Whatever it is, keep feeding it to him because I'm pretty sure
those New York strip steaks.
He's going to be tight end one, man. Like Rutgers going to be tight end one. I think give him about 2 years, and hell, he might even show it to us this year. Like, we don't know, because in Ohio, he wasn't really asked to do much in the receiving game. When you got Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, you're not going to be getting the ball a lot.
Agreed.
Like, no one's calling
Right.
But when
I have a quick question for you when you're done.
Throws. Okay.
Absolutely. Do you see that? Do you see Lawrence Cager getting any playing time this year since he's moved to tight end?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been following a lot of his stuff in minicamp and whatnot, man. 40 pounds of muscle shows he's dedicated. Shows he's really trying to go ahead and find his niche in the NFL. I don't think he makes the roster. Unfortunately, if Lawrence Cager had he done this last year, he's tight end 1. He would have been tight end 1 on the Jets roster last year.
Absolutely. Yep. Year, that we got Kenny Yeboah too.
Yeah, there's no room for him. So I think we might trade him. I think Lawrence Cager is going to get traded.
Hopefully, get some trade value for him.
Make a practice squad. It's very possible.
We got a 6th-round pick for Blake Cashman.
And what did he do? Nothing. And Joe, we trust. And I'm pretty sure if there's somebody out there who's even eyeing Lawrence Cager, we'll probably get a 5th or a 4th. Somehow Joe's going to pull off a 5th or a 4th for this kid.
Get a 1st-round pick for him.
All day.
Shoot. At least a 2nd or 3rd. That'd be dope.
Yeah. I won't put it past him.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just, I think that, like you said, I think there's a really big drop-off from the top 3, from CJ, from Conklin, from Ruckert, compared to, Lawrence Cager and Kenny Yeboah. That just, they're, not to say that they're not talented players, but they really don't have a spot on this team, unfortunately.
No.
Maybe we keep either Yeboah. I think that we'd kind of keep Yeboah over Lawrence Cager, just because, he's still younger. Yes, exactly. Special teams.
Experience from last year.
I wouldn't mind burying like one of them on the like on the practice squad or whatever. I don't, like you said, I don't see either one. I don't see them both making the team now.
There's no way.
Unfortunately,
no way.
I like Lawrence Cager too. Because
there's no way. No.
Yeah, but I wish him luck wherever he goes. Maybe he stays. Who knows?
Yeah. He might, but I don't think it's not going to be
training
camp body, a training camp body, a practice squad body. He's not going to make this final one. There's no way.
And he's putting obviously the work in. Maybe he gets to be tight end 2 somewhere. Getting seeing the field a couple reps. I'd be happy with him.
I'd root for him.
Agreed.
He's one of those guys you want to root for to see succeed.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
as long as it's not like 100%. As long as it's not the AFC East. I don't want to see him on the Patriots. I don't want to see him on the Bills. Because then I'd hate him.
Send
him both to the AFC.
Send
him like. Yeah, no. Send them like out. Send them to like the West. Send them to the 49ers or something.
Send them to the, there we go. Hey guys, we'll just give him away for a six.
Yeah, just here you go. Debo didn't work out, but here's Cager.
Oh man. So my next question for you, Jesse. What do you think our schedule for the beginning half? How many do you see us winning in the beginning half?
All right.
It's tough. It's tough.
I think it's brutal.
It's tough.
It is.
It's so tough.
We're also going off of what we know from last year, right? Like, so every year it resets, man. I think people everybody's always just like, well, it's what you see in the schedule is based off of what happened last year, the year before that. So we're worried because the Bengals obviously went to the Super Bowl. When it comes to freaking Lamar Jackson, we know what he's capable of doing, but we also need to take into consideration aspects such as Lamar Jackson didn't play with a good portion of his team last year. He also just lost his number 1 wide receiver, right? They just freaking traded
Hollywood Brown. Yep.
Hollywood Brown is gone, right? Cleveland's not going to have Deshaun Watson. I know for a fact they're not going to have Deshaun Watson. He's getting suspended. He's not going to be.
Maybe not even Baker.
Not even Baker. Baker doesn't want to play for them anymore. He feels disrespected. So they're probably going to dish out. Was it Brisket? Brisket?
Jacoby Brissett. Yes.
Jacoby Brissett. That's what it is. Jacoby Brissett. So he doesn't scare me. So when you look at it and peel it back, and we beat the Bengals last year. Let's not forget we beat the Bengals last year as a cripple.
I was at that game.
Were you? Oh my God.
Yep. Oh my God. That was my Super Bowl. That was the best game I've ever been to.
That was all our Super Bowls. Because that win came out of nowhere.
Yep. I went in there thinking, I was like putting on Twitter, Jets are wearing black to their own funerals. And they just I'm like, Mike White. I'm like, who the fuck is Mike White?
Right.
But,
right.
That was the funnest game I've ever been to. And I have nothing but respect for Bengals fans. Go ahead.
I'll tell you this. I love Bengals fans too, right? This is how bad it is. So I play fantasy football, and I actually started the Cincinnati Bengals defense because I knew, or I thought at the time, They were going to annihilate us, right? And I was like, well, I'm going to take this loss. I'm going to at least get a win in fantasy football because of it. And I put
not a bad move, not a bad idea.
It wasn't a bad move, but I lost in fantasy football, but we won the game, and it was well worth it. It was well worth it to win the game and take the fantasy loss.
Sometimes football, I'll admit, brings like the worst side of me out. I'm sick of being heckled in my own stadium for years. So when, I got to admit, and I doubt the guy's ever watching, but if he ever is, I apologize to whoever you are, Mr. Bengals fan. I had a couple beers in me, a couple shots. I was pretty lit up. I was having the time of my life, and I remember like they were up like 14 points or whatever it was, and I just turn around and I'm like up in this guy's face. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, and then I look down. He has like a 5-year-old daughter with him. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but like he didn't even look at me. He just sat straight ahead, just took it. I'm like, damn, like you're not gonna go back at me. I feel bad, I really do. And I'm not like that at all. I kind of made up for that after though, because we were walking out. I stopped in like the gift shop, picked up a couple things, and we're walking out, and there is a Bengals fan just passed out drunk in the parking lot. And I helped him up. I helped him like go into his. I helped him up. I was like, if you fall down again, but like you're on your own, So he falls over again. I pick him up. I was like, all right, last time. Falls over again. I got him into his car. I'm like, don't ever say Jets fans are assholes or anything, because we're not. And on the way back, I'm playing beer pong with their fans, and it was a really good time. Like they're okay. I've had some bad fans. I've had Dolphin fans. I've had Patriot fans taunting us. I've had Eagles fans taunting me, and it's just I've got to say out of all the games I've been to, the Bengals fans are probably the nicest fans, and I just love telling people I've been to that game, because that's like a historic game, and I love talking about it. Honestly, it's selfish of me, but I love talking about it.
We weren't supposed to win. We weren't even supposed to be in that game. Like we weren't supposed to be in that game. So I'd brag about it too. I'd brag about it.
And it was a fun game to watch. It wasn't like a dominant performance. It was back and forth. Like either team could have won. How the Jets came out on top and what the performance they did is just beyond me. But somehow we did it, and it was just awesome to be there.
But again, that's why I'm saying I still believe that the first half of the season the Jets can win 4 games.
Yep. And Gino's going to have his experience this year, too. Gino's going to his first game this year, too.
Home opener, baby. Home opener.
Yep.
Home opener.
I'm actually trying to get out there as well. I'm actually trying to get out there.
If you do, let us know.
Man. Hit us up.
Let you guys know. Yeah, definitely.
Hit us up. Man, so I got a few more questions for you, but I would like to say thank you for coming on. I know I've been keeping in touch with you through Twitter and Instagram, but I just wanted to say I appreciate you. I love getting to know Jets fans. So my what were you saying?
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the invitation. Like this has been awesome thus far. And this is exactly what I was hoping to be a part of when I started creating content. So this is
absolutely
Amen.
Same here.
Amen. Same here. All right. So playoffs, wild card, or just a better season overall to go to the next step. What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts is this, right? So I believe we're going to have a better season. That's not even, to me, it's not even something that's predicated on hope or anything like that. I just think based off of, again, the continuity thing is so big, the pieces we've added around Zach Wilson, the pieces we've added to the team. And it's not just about putting quality talent either. These are good character guys. Like these are the leaders of men are on that roster. Yep. They're taking accountability. They're prideful about this team now too. So I believe a better season is ahead. That's going to be easy because we're going to win no less than 7 games. I don't know if you guys are tracking Vegas with the 5 wins. I already jumped on that and I put my money in on it because that's the easiest bet to make right now in football. Is we're going to win
against the Jets.
We're going to win I'm all about it. Let them bet against it. We'll win on the back end as Jets fans. We're going to win no less than 7 games. I think we should be in the conversation for a wild card spot.
Couldn't agree more. It's just one of those things where
possible.
And what helps us is with the schedule. I think we have a serious chance at beating the Ravens. We could beat the Browns without Baker, without any. But that should be a good game. The Browns do play as hard though, typically. But anyway,
they do.
I don't know I don't think the Packers are going to be the same, without Devontae Adams. But it's still Aaron Rodgers back there. He's going to make something.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Yes.
My wife's.
I don't know if we're escaping that.
So I'm not even going to pretend.
Yes, no, yeah, it's going to be hard to get past them. But if we could just sneak out a couple of those games, then like the later half of the schedule gets much you with like the Lions. We have a couple other. I don't have the schedule in front of me,
Yes.
but I know there's
It
some
gets easier.
winnable games. And the thing is, we can start picking up momentum towards like the middle to the end of the season. That's like when teams get hot. Going right into
Yes.
the playoffs, we have that momentum. We have the confidence. We're not like, oh my God, Zach's not like demoralized or anything. Hopefully, I just think it's a good time to start. Picking up some momentum. The beginning of the season is going to be tough, like I said, but I think towards the middle, towards the end, I think we could definitely start, pulling out some good wins. But we got to beat some teams that we're not supposed to beat. If you want to be a
Facts.
playoff team, you have to beat some good teams because it doesn't get any
Facts.
easier. And just real quick, thank you to the Buffalo Jet. He says, "Good show, gents." Thank you, Buffalo Jet. You have great content as always.
He has
Gunny, I don't know
awesome
if you ever
content.
checked him out. Yes, if you have
Oh
checked him
yeah, I
out,
love the
you'll know
Buffalo
what I'm
Jet.
talking
He
about.
has great content. I actually just
Yes,
watched his recent video. He did a questionnaire. I think it was on Monday, Buffalo Jet, and he was talking about how like when he first started doing YouTube, that he had like horrible sound quality, and he actually said in that video, "Go see how bad it was." My first video, and I went and I looked. I was like, "How bad could it really have been?" And I went and I looked, and I was just like, "Okay, get in front of the camera, do content, learn as we go," because that was a prime example of how far he's come with his channel.
Right.
We all have our stories.
Right.
Yes,
Amen. Amen.
And especially like I started the podcast, and I started when I first started, I was doing it by myself. It's not easy to sit there and just talk in front of a camera, like when you don't have anybody to talk to.
It's
not easy at all.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
It's so
Gino went through it.
Yep, but I mean, I've always wanted a partner to do it with, like a co-host. I've always wanted to do something like this, so it's his dream come true. We're doing it remotely. I mean, I'm from St. Louis, born and raised. I've worked for the St. Louis Rams. I've worked for the St. Louis Blues. Like, I've always wanted to do something like this. So, and my first Jets game that I've been to was an away game, but I was working for the Rams. So every time the Jets would do something, I'm like, yeah. Oh wait, wrong team. So
hold on, wait a minute. Time out. You said you were raised in St. Louis. How did you become a Jets fan?
Oh man, I get this question all the time. It's a funny story. Do you know what these are? McFarlane figures. Have you ever seen those type of things before?
I do. I have,
okay, so my dad, he got me a crap ton of them through just over the years. He's collected. He gave me a bunch of Jets ones, and I'm just like, yeah, I think this is my new team. I always loved like Joe Namath in Alabama, and I've always loved like Wayne Corbett. I mean, to this day, I still think he's the most underrated wide receiver in like 100%. Ever.
It's just third down.
I mean, the way that guy's built, he didn't even use gloves. I mean, it's amazing. But yeah, people are always like, okay, Jets suck. I'm like, well, but the Rams sucked when they were here. So it's like now they're in LA, and now they're like, big time now. But it's just,
I don't want the Jets to move though.
No, please don't move. Please don't move. Please don't move.
Well, I don't like MetLife is a dump. MetLife is a dump. I'd love to bring them to Long Island.
Yes. Bring them back to Long Island. I'd say, because didn't they practice there? Right? They practiced
at Hofstra University, where Wayne Corbett is from. Wayne Corbett graduated.
Wow.
Well, yeah, yep. I've been to a couple of those too.
Is a big fan of Hofstra University.
Yeah, cool. he's down in Texas too, isn't he?
He is. He's in Houston.
Yep. Oh, dope.
That'd be cool.
Dope.
I like Jake Asman.
Man, he's a great guy. But also, so my next question: what is your favorite memory overall as a Jets fan? Either in your home, it could be at the stadium, it could be with like one of your friends or family. What is a memory that just gets you so pumped up just thinking about back in the day?
Favorite Jets memory. Okay. All right. So I was gonna go ahead and talk about my Lambeau Field experience, because if you've never been to Lambeau Field, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. My wife's a Packers fan, and we got the pleasure of going to watch the Packers versus Jets game. And you were talking about the Cincinnati game, right? And just a little caveat. In that game, the Jets started off hot. Like, I don't know what happened. They came out there with like fire. The defense was kicking it. We were winning. So I was the only person rocking gangrene, surrounded by a sea of Packers fans, my wife being one of them. And my obnoxious behind couldn't help myself, man. I started talking so much crap because we were beating the Packers and we were beating them good. But they came back. They came back. And
what year was
Packers
this?
Fans, this was 2000. Oh, man, I want to say 18.
Was Sam Darnold?
Was it Sam? Yeah, it was Sam.
They played
Sam because
Sam's rookie year.
It was week 16, 2018.
Yep, Sam's rookie year. I remember
16,
that game.
2018? Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, they came out
I remember
balling.
where I was.
You know,
yes, they did.
Sam to Robbie Anderson connection was on fire that game. Like it was a good game.
That was one of his best games. That was one of Sam's best Jet games. Yep.
By far. To this day, like ever. And we were crushing it. And I was loud and obnoxious about it. Just an arrogant Jets fan. And
you deserve it.
They came back, obviously. They came back. Yeah. But this is what's crazy about that, right? They came back. And Packers fans were they were like, look, man, I get it. You got excited. Welcome to land. They were so nice about it. It was almost demoralizing. They were so nice about it. But like in the same token, like my wife was like, I want to just roast you. I want to go ahead and destroy you right now. But you know what? We're in Lambeau. It's a great experience. And she kind of like melded in with her fellow Packers fans, and they were kind of nice about coming back and beating the crap out of us. But
I've heard that they're very nice.
They're amazing. I've been to a few stadiums. They're by far the best fan base, I think, in terms of like they've been lucky. They've been spoiled though. You go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. They're a spoiled fan base. Yeah. So of course they can be nice and be all
right. Yes. They have nothing to be pissed off about.
Amen.
To be upset about.
I've heard. I've never been to Lambeau, but I heard it's like one of the nicest stadiums. Did you do like the Hall of Fame tour and all that too, or
we did?
Did you get like the full
Hall of Fame tour? Got the full
I've heard that's awesome.
We walked out into the field. It was amazing. It was
nice.
It was the best experience. It was a gift for my wife, and I also partook in the gift. It was a gift for me as well because it was a fun experience. As a football fan, period. If you can get to Lambeau Field, you've got to go to the Lambeau Field. There is something just different about that stadium.
They're playing in Lambeau this year.
Seating. I know.
Wow.
And you can't even sit. You have to stand up the whole time.
You got to stand up a lot of times too because like it's got the old school feel, like the passion and history of football when you walk into that stadium, and it's got some modern pieces all around, right? Like I don't know, man. Like Lambeau Field,
it's like a high school football game.
Back to the roots.
Gino, we might need to take another trip.
Friday night's light. I'm telling you guys. If you have a chance to go to Lambeau Field, I promise.
Everybody says that.
Everyone says it all the time.
I promise. I'm anxiously trying to get back to it. My goal is to hit every NFL stadium. It's my bucket list.
That's a good goal.
Love that.
I've got 6 under my belt so far. 6 so far.
There you go.
Where have you been?
I've been San Diego. I watched the San Diego Chargers play in San Diego. Houston Texans, obviously. I've been at MetLife, Lambeau Field. I've been at the Mercedes Dome.
That's cool.
In New Orleans. That one was a good time. And then I was in Tennessee. I watched the Titans and Jets play. It was not last year. I wish it was last year. Several years back. One of my recruiters had tickets and whatnot, and we were able to go ahead and experience that game.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Lambeau Field, though, is by far my favorite experience. I can't even pretend. Like it's by far my favorite experience.
Man, I love hearing that. That makes me want to go now.
You've got to go.
I kind of want to go to Las Vegas. I kind of want to go to the Raiders.
Me too.
Yeah,
Atlanta looks cool. Atlanta had like the first ring, like that LED ring. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out to Dallas. Dallas Stadium. I haven't been out there.
AT&T, yes, I haven't been, but that is the most expensive NFL stadium though. You pay
right now.
You pay like $150 for parking, something like that. Yeah,
for parking. But just to stand in the stadium to watch the game is $120. Like they have standing sections. Like you don't get a seat. You just get to stand for $120.
You get to be there. Yeah. Tampa Bay looks pretty cool too. Tampa Bay looks like a cool stadium too.
But yeah, it might be a nice one. Got the cannon firing and everything like
exactly.
that.
The pirate ship.
Got the boat. Yep.
The pirate ship.
Yeah.
I see it because my girlfriend's grandmother lives down in Tampa, so we fly down there, and at the airport, you pass right by it. You get to look. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And my dad used to work for the. Yeah, he's in New York. He's in Long Island.
Yeah, I'm on Long
Right,
Island.
yeah. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. Houston, Texas.
Look at
Yeah.
us, Jet fans all over the freaking country, man.
We're all over
man.
the place. We're all over the place.
I mean, I'm in St. Louis and I already met 6 Jets fans in the last 10 years, and I'm like, where was this my whole life? So, like,
You know what I
come
get?
on, man.
When I see Jets fans and like we have our Jets fan stuff on, we just kind of like the last couple of years just. That's what it is, and it's just
Right.
I get that out here too. In Houston, it's
now,
the same way. Like it's been.
Yep. Now it's
excited.
like
everyone's excited.
Yep. Yep. Now we're all pumped up.
Amen to that. Shout out to Hater. Shout out to Hater Alley. Thank you, Hater.
Yep. What up, Jets fighters? Jets fans in '75. Ooh, old school fan.
Love it.
Great show. I will be watching and following you guys more closely. I started late, so I'm about 15-20 minutes behind. Let's go, JETS Jets. Love it, man. Thank you for your support. And definitely go check out Gunny. New York Jets Situation Report podcast. Go check them out. Great content there as well. One of my favorite videos from you is the one that you recently did with Stephen A. Smith. That had me laughing.
Oh man, I was dying. I was dying on that one. Oh
that
man,
was a great video.
Thank you for that video. Thank you for that video.
You must have put so much time and effort into that.
Right.
That took me 3 days. I kid you not, 3 days to record and edit. Right, but I was just like, no, I'm going to get this because it was so frustrating to hear him talk about the Jets. He had no knowledge base about the Jets.
Ryan.
Oh my God,
it was worth the watch. I'm glad that you did that.
I appreciate that. I'm glad because I put a lot of work into that video, but I'm glad.
It definitely showed.
I mean, he talks about the Cowboys.
Bart Scott actually liked me posting it on Instagram. Like,
that's awesome.
Like the Bart Scott. I thought that was
the Bart
awesome.
Scott. Yeah. Can't wait. Can't stop a nose.
Can't wait.
Scott.
Can't wait.
Bart Scott. So that was probably one of my better videos thus far. So I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys like that one.
Well, and it's also one of those things where it's like, Stephen A. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk. I mean, you have Brady Quinn in the last couple months too. It's like you guys just don't know. Stick to like college football or basketball because even Stephen A. has been. He's been doing the Cowboys too, and it's like, okay, like I mean, I don't like Cowboys fans either. Like I know from Houston and stuff, but it's just one of those things where it's like stick to that. Don't come into the AFC where we're at and just keep dogging. Just shut up.
Like, if you watch that whole
you don't even know the players.
No, but you're speaking on how we're the same old Jets and we're joking. Ha ha ha. So a Jets player walked up to you apparently and you had no clue who the heck it was. Why would you even admit that as an analyst? You speak intelligently about football.
Right.
I heard that was Elijah Moore.
Oh. Okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it was Elijah Moore.
I heard the same thing, and I alluded to that in the video, but I didn't want to actually. I was like, hey, I'm not sure. I didn't want to make like
it's number 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I've heard the same thing from some of my boys in New York that it was Elijah Moore that walked up to him, and he had no clue who he was. And if you don't know who Elijah Moore is,
what's crazy too is like. A lot of these players, like they grew up like watching him. Like a lot of them probably like Stephen A. Smith too. I've never liked him, and just to act like you're like bigger.
Me too.
Just to, but
a lot of people
just arrogant individual.
And to kind of like big time him, like somebody like Elijah Moore too. Like like I'm too good for you. Like who the hell are you, man? Like come on, like you're an analyst. Like you're a great analyst. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's earned his respect.
He's a great basketball analyst.
True.
When it comes to football, I wish he would just shut up.
Yep, and he would have had much more better content. Even like not liking the Jets, but like if he would have interviewed, like where do you see the Jets going? Like what makes you want to be a Jet? Like if he would have asked a couple questions, you would have had a much better article. And that's not even being like a biased Jets fan. Yes, that and just it would have been. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been like better content for ESPN. But
he lost an opportunity legitimately to get us more engaged with ESPN and him as an analyst because you could have simply stated the Jets have continued to be a dumpster fire for years. However, they've made some changes this year. But when you tell us that Denzel Mims, I was supposed to they got some talent. If Denzel Mims, shut up. If Denzel Mims was who you went to as our talent on the roster, that's when I agree. Like, so he hasn't watched a Jets game in years.
I agree.
Amen. 100%. Hit it right on on the nail.
And then he's talking about like Adam Gaze and everything, and he's like, obviously, like that's not now, but it was. And I'm like, yeah, well,
yeah, well, you're living in the past. Jeez.
Why are we bringing that up?
It gets me aggravated just talking about it. And honestly, like I get it because the Jets have sucked for so many years, but that's why there's guys like us, there's guys like you that are doing this content. Because we know what's going. We follow the Jets every day. Like nobody, ESPN's not seeing what the Jets are doing in practice every day. Nope. Like they're not. And we haven't warranted that, and that's completely understandable. But like I said, that's why there's the fans, the loyal fans that we're gonna. Don't worry, like we're not biased fans, any of us. We'll tell you that they suck.
They suck.
We'll tell you all day. We'll tell you that Zach Wilson is the worst quarterback of all time when he throws an interception, and then when he's throwing bombs to Corey Davis, we're gonna tell you he's the greatest quarterback of all time because we're loyal Jets fans.
Amen.
We don't sugarcoat anything. We're the most unbiased reporters around, and we have no education.
Amen.
We don't have an education, like a journal education. I have a freaking notebook right here, but other than that, that's all I have.
But we have PhDs in the eye test. In the eye test, and we don't lie about that. We see what we see. We're going to talk about it, no matter.
I'm a stupid Jets fan. I crack a beer and watch the game. And my eyes don't lie.
Yeah, we're street smart. We're not book smart, but we're street smart. We know what's going on. We know what's going on around the block.
Yes, we do. At our old friends at One Jets Drive.
but this will be the last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Jesse, who is your favorite Jets player of all time?
Ah, man, Jets player of all time. Favorite. I know the obvious answer should be Joe Namath, right? Everybody's going to go, Joe Namath. He brought us our only Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes, he did.
But I love him. Love Joe Namath.
He guaranteed it.
I think that's why we love him so much. He had the swagger and cockiness and confidence of the tri-state area on his shoulders when he stated that. Yeah, I guarantee he's going to go ahead and beat the Colts. That was a legit team to just guarantee you're going to go ahead and beat them. Like the Colts were no scrubs. But I digress. He is by far, I think, unanimously the favorite Jets of all time, right? But for me, when I get that question, I'll take it back into my fanhood lifetime, right? So since 1998, I would have to say I love Darrelle Revis, man. Like I love Darrelle Revis. Like
love it.
I got an autograph,
he's on your wall.
Helmet, autographed jersey of Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis made it fun for us as Jets fans to talk crap to people because it didn't matter how bad like we were. Like we can always confidently say like our defensive back is going to shut down your number one receiver. Or he's going to shut down half of the field, no matter what. Like he was an exclamation point in any argument we had whenever it came to the New York Jets because we knew he wasn't going to let us down, man. So Darrelle Revis is my go-to, even though he
made it hard.
He made it
hard. Contract issues.
Anyway, he did. And I look at that, I'm like, it was a combination of him and the Jets front office also. Like, so I'll put the blame on both, right? But
yes, that's fair.
Like, Darrelle Revis gave us some incredible years, man. Some incredible years.
But we did not trade him to the Patriots. We traded him to Tampa.
No.
Amen.
We did.
Amen.
We did. So that's always like it just still sucks though that he won.
With him, I love him because I grew up. I was born in '99. I grew up like watching football, through the early since I've been able to talk really that I could remember. I've always loved Revis, but it's just like he's one of those guys. I get why he's not my personal favorite, but I get why he's everybody's personal favorite. Like I get it. Like I do love Revis, but it's just the Patriots Super Bowl just really puts a dagger in my heart. It really does.
Right.
And I think that's why whenever I get asked that question, I always been like, well, Wayne Corbett's a close second.
He's my number one favorite.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Like for me, he's my close second, man. Like,
he's my number one
because I got to watch his whole career with the Jets. But Corbett was just.
It's not a bad answer.
It's not.
Yes.
I'm not mad about it. I'm going to admit that this is my favorite player. But Corbett man was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, say it proudly. You just you say it proudly.
Yeah.
But it's just that the Super Bowl with the Pats just really just kind of.
Oh, I know.
But he came back home.
Oof. He
wasn't the same player. He wasn't the same player, but he came back.
But he still came home. And
then he ended his career with the Chiefs.
Now he's going to the Ring of Honor.
He ended his career with the Chiefs. Yeah, in the Ring of Honor, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's a business.
And I get it. I get it. Oh my gosh. But for me, it's Namath and Corbett, and then I'm a huge John Riggins fan. I've always have. And Brett Favre. If anyone loves Brett Favre, Brett Favre,
I love Pennington
Tomlinson.
too.
I love Tom LT. And then when we had Jason Taylor too during that time, Pennington, Curtis Martin, and I'm so happy we stole him from the Patriots. Just saying, that was such a nail in the coffin a little bit. It was awesome.
That's amazing. So we're gonna wrap it up though. Gunny, any last words? Anything you'd like to promote? If you want to throw your social media out there one more time?
Yeah, go for it.
Again, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. If you ever want me back again, just say the word. I'm here.
Oh, for sure.
You will be back on.
Oh, for sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow me at New York Jets Situation Report on YouTube, NYJets_SitRep on Twitter and Instagram. Got a couple of videos dropping this week. One of them being the two opponents that can go ahead and derail the Jets this season. I'm doing a video on that. I think you guys will like and appreciate that one. That should be dropping on Friday. I got to finish the editing aspect, obviously, but my goal is to keep putting content out there. But also, now that I'm here, that's okay. Yep. So this right here, I'm doing a giveaway. If you've seen my channel, I'm doing a giveaway.
Yep. Yeah. I saw it on Twitter.
Yes. So this Keyshawn Johnson autographed helmet is currently available for any Jets fan, anyone to win, really. All they got to do is follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube, and then DM me on Instagram or Twitter saying done, that you got me followed on all forums. And I'm going to be picking the winner on July 26th. That will get this shipped out again.
Love it.
In the display case, everything such. It's got the authenticity certificate in there as well. Giving this out to one lucky winner. Trying to get to as many. I'm trying to reach as many Jets fans as possible in the process.
Yep.
And there's an Elijah Moore one back there that I'm hoping to keep. But if I hit 1,000 subs, 1,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter, that one also is going to be given out to one of those followers. So the same day, same exact time frame for me to pick out. So I'm going to just drop that real quick. More of the rules is on my channel if you want to go ahead and take a look at it. But other than that, man, I've had a blast. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be on more down the road, and we would love to come on your show eventually if you have time. For sure. Yes, we love that. Definitely. We love that. Awesome. We love that.
Okay.
Made another Jets friend, man. Glad to have met you, man.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
So that's going to wrap it up. Just wanted to mention you guys could follow us on all social media platforms. Facebook, Gino Antonio Pagano. Go send him a friend request. Twitter at EverythingNYJ. Instagram at _EverythingNYJ. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Helps us continue to make great videos. Go subscribe to New York Jets Situation Report podcast. Great content there as always. Gunny, Gumby, pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you guys. Thank you all very much.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
Good night.